That's crazy.
They know we manage. Is that Happy Mother's Day, Mom? Is that your mom? Yeah.
Hey, safe travels, brother.
Yeah, thank you.
See you down
Good
the road.
luck to you. Thanks. We'll see you again. See ya.
Today we're joined by the Memphis Showboats, head coach Todd Haley, quarterback Cole Kelly, and free safety Troy Warner. We're going to open up with an opening statement from coach.
Yeah, just we know our margin of error is very small. We had very little wiggle room. All these guys understand that. We knew we were going up against a very well-coached team by Coach DiFilippo and a team that was undefeated. We had to go on the road and get the job done. And just really proud of the guys. I thought we played great complementary football today. Defense creating turnovers. Picking up the offense when we needed it.
Yep.
But then the offense ultimately when we needed it most, I thought had a great drive and finished it and really kind of put the game, in our possession.
Coach, from a game like this to what your defense has been really the last 2 weeks now with 7 turnovers that you've created, what after you had gotten 1 through the first 3, what has kind of been the key and overall what your defense has been able to do?
It's kind of like putting in golf. I mean, you can go rounds and rounds and not make anything, and all of a sudden you get a couple to go in, you get a couple turnovers, the dam kind of breaks, guys start to build confidence. I said this 2 weeks ago. I mean, I was part of, and Carnell Lake was part of a Steelers team in '89 that lost, got crushed the first 2 games of the season. Everybody in Pittsburgh was burning their terrible towels, and he was a rookie on that team, and they figured out a way to turn it around. And the big words, and I had him get up and talk to the team about it because he was there. I mean, he was part of it, and he said the biggest thing was we kept working, and we started to gain confidence through really good practices. And when you have good practices, and I mean, Troy will say, I mean, the ball's been getting turned over a bunch in practice. Sometimes I'm mad because, I'm standing on the offensive side, but I'm really happy. Once it starts happening, guys gain confidence. They believe that the ball's going to come to them, and I think that's what you're seeing a little bit of. But, without a doubt, when you win the turnover battle, your chances of winning a game, home or away, rise dramatically.
Troy, this defense, I mean, they came in number 1 in points and yards to hold them to 10 points to make the turnovers. What was the key to making that happen for them?
Yeah, I think first and foremost it starts off with our defensive staff coming up with a great game plan for what they do, and they've got a lot of athletes and experienced quarterback, a really good running back, and so those 2 guys kind of wanted to control a little bit. And so our defensive staff came up with a good game plan, and we just executed. That's been the big thing in this turnaround these last 2 weeks is just paying attention to the small things, the details, and executing at a high level. And it presents a lot of opportunities, and that's why we've been getting takeaways as well.
Well, there were so many drives that guys were just selling for the field
Yep.
today. It seemed like if one team could have that kind of go down the field drive, it could win it. What was that drive like? How'd you do that?
It was great. We've been knocking on the door all game. We just kept shooting ourselves in the foot. We were driving the ball well, and then we just penalties. I would take a sack, bad play on first down, negative yards, stuff like that to get us in bad situations. But, our defense kept us in the game the whole time. I thought we played good complementary football. We had 2 turnovers, but our defense turned them over more, thank God. And, just the fight in this team, we never blinked. Just 2 weeks in a row, we never blinked. And when we had the ball in our hands to go win the game, that's what we did.
On the play that set it up inside 5 to JJ, were you throwing it to him?
You can tell the truth.
No.
I didn't think so. So when that ball goes in the air,
I think it hit the wire. It hit the wire of the cage.
Well, at first I got hit, so at first I'm like on the ground, don't even see. And then I look up, find a lane, and I see the ball just floating, and I see JJ running underneath it, wide open. I'm like, oh, I probably wouldn't have thrown it to him more accurate if I tried to throw it to him. So I mean, it's God. God. Thank God for this. Without God, none of this is possible, and thank God for that play.
And nobody hears it on the headsets, but when that ball went up, Bob Saunders is like, just catch the ball. And I'm like, he did catch it. He's running almost for a touchdown. What are you talking about? We're all yelling back and forth. So it was one of those plays.
The hard counts and drawing them off sides, was that something coming in today that you maybe had seen that you thought you could get them because of the way they were aggressive?
Honestly, are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Honestly, we do that. I think our whole offense does a great job of that. Since day one, we've implemented that. That's one thing on offense. We know the play count, the count. They don't. So that's something we have to use to our advantage to get free yards or to see what defense they're in. And we did a great job all day of that and capitalized at the end.
Hey, Coach, the season, of course, is a marathon, obviously, and being 0-3, can you speak about the character of your team overall and the leaders, and what did you tell your team when you were 0-3?
Well, number one, I had Carnell get up and talk about that Steeler team in '89 that got beat 51-0 and then 40-something to 7 and found a way into the wild card game and beat a Warren Moon-led team. My father was working there, so that was near and dear to my heart. I was living in Pittsburgh. Everybody in Pittsburgh, like I said, they were burning the terrible towels. They said, this season's over. But when you have guys like that on your staff, and that's why I'm so excited about Carnell and all the guys we have. I mean, they've been around. They have experience. They've experienced some of the lows. And, the difference, in our league is the margin of error starts out small. So, if you put yourself in a hole like that, you gotta figure out ways to win some of these tough games. So the guys they've done nothing but meet in their meetings are awesome. Everybody's taking notes. I mean, Dave Rosano's done a great job of bringing guys in to try to fortify, some spots, whether it's through injury or just there's some guys out there that we said, hey, they can help us. And some of those guys were playing today. So, the meeting, the practice, that's where it all starts. If you're just going through the motions when you go through practice, you're probably not going to have a great chance to execute on game day. And our guys have done nothing but stay together and fight. And this wasn't the championship, but Frank Gans, our special teams coach, he told a big story about Mount Everest. This is the time of year everybody's trying to climb Mount Everest, and he said it's time to climb. And we're down at base camp, and we got a win today, which maybe we're at the next stage, but we still got a long way to go. I mean, there's about 30,000 feet.
Troy, what against Hills, who have been so good at the games he's played, and he's a big physical back, what were you guys able to do? What was kind of the game plan to try and keep him under control?
Yeah. In practice, one of the biggest things we stress is running to the football, swarm tackle. With this guy, we knew we had to gang tackle him because he's made a lot of guys miss. He scored a lot of touchdowns. And so, like I kind of said before, we came up with a good game plan to really just control what he could do. And so we were assignment sound. We didn't really let him get the ball in space to try and make guys miss. And then, like I said, just gang tackling, having, all 11 guys to the football, that really helped.
Coach, we have Oscar calling in from Mexico.
There he is.
Love Oscar.
So we're going to have him unmute and go ahead, Oscar.
Hello, Coach. Like I always say, in life as in football, we always need a game plan. We talk about when you have losses, now you have another win, and that's the key, Always fighting, always thinking about one play at a time, one game at a time. You talk about this great anecdote with Colonel Lake in the Pittsburgh Steelers, but now in this time of the season, you more than ever, we still keep that game plan.
Yeah, I mean, we believe in how we're doing things. That hasn't wavered, from a coaching standpoint. And I think the players, that gives them great comfort that, it's not, hey, we're in panic mode and we got to change this, and this. We just got to do the things we know are the right ways to go about preparing for a football game and then playing in a football game and just do them a little better. And I think that's the beauty of this team right now is, it wasn't, we didn't just throw everything in the garbage and try to start over. We believe that we're doing things the right way. We just needed to do it a little better in a lot of different areas. You know, I said a couple weeks ago that my grandmother said to me all the time, the devil is in the details. So I read that to the team. I had 4 players that went to dinner. I don't know if you were one of them, but whatever restaurant they went in, there's a big sign hanging up over the restaurant saying the devil in the details. So, I mean, that's coaching. That's just making the players commit and believe that you're doing things the right way, and if they just do it a little better, good things are going to happen.
You were 0-3.
And just one more, coach, and the players. Could you say some words to all the moms because in the United States now is Mother Days. Here in Mexico was the past 10th, May 10th. Could you send some message to all the moms?
Yes, happy Mother's Day to any mom in this whole world. I mean, having 5 kids of my own, I understand, being raised by a great mom that was in a football family with a dad that was on the road, 6 days out of 7 every single day of my growing up life. Moms are really special. And I know all these guys. I put the sticker on my hat, and it's hard to be a mom. I mean, it's a lot more work than us as coaches or players are capable of handling most of the time.
No doubt.
Plus, I can't cook.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Pat, 2 weeks ago you're 0-3. You guys are a game out of the playoffs now, a game out of second place at the midway point. Is it nice to have so much in reach and in play for the second half of the season now?
It's just nice to see rewards for the hard work the players are putting in. I mean, I think if you get caught up thinking about big picture, us as coaches, players, it's day to day. You're in your routine. Now we play on a Saturday. So I even, talking to the players, I got it screwed up when we're, what the week's going to look like. I mean, we it's routine oriented. Get back to work, enjoy it, yeah, and they're going to enjoy it. I mean, they were enjoying it in the locker room, but it's not the championship. It was a big win for our team, and it was a nice reward for the hard work they've put in.
For both players, that this was kind of your first real hot game. Did that have a toll on you?
Go ahead.
I mean, it's been getting really warm in Memphis, and so we've been able to kind of prep ourselves through practice and run it super hard, and just honestly it wasn't as bad coming out here just because Memphis is getting warm, and so we were able to kind of acclimate that way.
I'm from South Louisiana, so I was this is where I thrive. Yeah, it was a little chilly out there today.
So, Coach, I guess with your Pittsburgh ties, is that the playing with JJ, is that like the immaculate reception part 2?
Shit, to me it is.
Maybe Nicole.
To me it is.
was a completion that
It's
we
my
needed.
immaculate reception, I'll tell you what.
It was a completion we needed desperately after one of his other throws earlier went awry.
Congratulations, guys. Thank you.
SMB. God bless.
Thank you, everybody.